Alright, what's going on, everybody? Today I want to do something a little different with the Corolla. Obviously I have the turbo on it. Everything seems to be running good so far, other than a few little tuning issues, but it still seems to be good. But today I want to try to get some mad turbo noises, or some turbo flutter, or what other people call it. I've heard people call it dose, I believe it is. So today I got a cap for where the blow-off valve goes. I got a few other vacuum plugs as well, and we're going to pretty much take off the blow-off valve. So we're going to take off the blow-off valve and then replace it with just some plugs. But let's go on a ride right now so that way we can hear what it sounds like before. It just pretty much is just a psh type of noise, versus the flutter that I hear on a lot of other cars, and I love the way it sounds. So let's hop in the car and go for a little ride. Alright, so it is a little bit of a rainy day today. It's not raining too bad, but we'll make do with it. But let's get the car warmed up and then go on a few little runs, and we'll see what the blow-off valve sounds like now, and then what it will sound like once we take it off. Let's hear some blow-off noises. So as you can just hear, it just does a hissing noise, which still sounds great, but I want to get that turbo flutter noise that I always hear on a bunch of other cars that do it. So because one of the things I'm having problems with is like on the tuning side of things, now that I'm tuned on the factory ECU, that if I try to like mash the throttle, the car like kind of bogs down a little bit, and then like it'll build back up and then it'll accelerate really good. So it's like you almost have to like lead into it before you can actually hit boost good. Because I notice it's like when you mash the throttle, the AFRs go up like to like 17 because it's not getting enough fuel, and then it realizes that it needs to kick in, and then it goes down to like 11, 10 on the AFR, giving it enough fuel that it needs. Alright, so I'm back home. Everything looks good. So now we gotta take off this bumper. And you know, the other day I went to go put my engine cover back on because I just had it off because of everything going on, and I had it shoved in the corner of my garage. And I went to go put it on, and I literally broke it. Like, I mean, not like an engine cover makes a big difference, but I literally cracked it when I was pushing on it. I have no idea how I did that, but anyways, that's enough of that. We're gonna have to take the... You don't probably have to take the whole bumper off, but I'm just going to do it just for ease of use. The blow-off valve is down there. You could probably get to it that way, but I want to make sure everything gets sealed properly. So I'm going to take the whole bumper off and make sure everything looks good. And that'll give me a good way to check all the other intercooler piping, make sure everything is looking good. We pretty much just got to take the blow-off valve, and then there's another vacuum line that goes over here. I'm just going to plug all that stuff up so it's still a sealed system, but the vacuum or the boost pressure won't have any way to release other than going back to the turbo. So that's pretty much what the turbo flutter is the built up boost has nowhere else to go since the throttle body has closed. It has to push the pressure out of the turbo, which I have heard a lot of negative things about that. Whether or not it's true or not, people have said that it will hurt the turbo. Other people will not say that. So I don't know if I'm going to keep it like this or not, but I just want to have fun with the turbo, and I've always wanted a car that made some turbo flutter noises. Alright, so I just got the bumper off, and pretty much this is what we got to take off. So I'm going to take this whole piece off. Hopefully I ordered the right size. I believe that was 1 inch. So this should also be 1 inch, which it says 1 inch or 25 millimeters. So I'm going to take this off, take this vacuum line off, and pretty much plug it up. That's as simple as it can be. I mean, I know if you have other, I know some blow-off valve have flanges and all that other stuff. You would have to unbolt it and then get like a cover for that flange size. But other than that, and there will always usually be a vacuum line also coming off your blow-off valve just to sense the pressures. But yeah, it's gonna be fairly straightforward. Blow-off valve is off. Unplug that. I mean, if anybody is interested in this, I mean, I'll leave a link to this stuff. I think this was like 15 bucks or something on Amazon. And it came with a clamp. And now whether or not you want to plug it up here or plug it over there, I don't think I have a plug that goes inside of here, so I'm just going to take this tube off and plug it up on the other side. So I'm following that line up here. Gonna pull it up. And it goes to that vacuum block down there. So I'm gonna loosen that vacuum block and then we'll plug up that hole. Alright, and then I bought this kit. Hopefully one of these will fit. Alright, that one fit on perfect. Alright, so it was that simple to hopefully have everything do exactly what I want to. So all we did was just pretty much eliminate the blow-off valve, which is sitting right here, and we just plugged up 2 holes. The one where the blow-off valve came off of, and then the one that went to my turbo, the vacuum manifold. So, but now let me put the bumper on. But before I do that, I want to do one other thing. I'm going to take off that bottom grill there, just because I did that on my last Corolla and I thought it looked really nice. You could easily see the intercooler, which I like. So whether or not you're trying to be a sleeper car or not, but I like to be able to see the intercooler on the car. Took that grill off. I think it looks a lot better. I don't know. What do you guys think? Seeing the intercooler looks nicer or having it kind of tucked away? But I don't know. Let's go for a drive and see what kind of turbo noises we get. Alright, let's see if this thing makes turbo noises. I think the exhaust is almost too loud now, but I hear the flutter faintly. Hopefully I can get better sound of it, but I think the exhaust is almost drowning it out. But yeah, I don't know, it seems like the exhaust is almost too loud to actually hear it. Because the only thing I can think of is I have a boost leak somewhere and it's leaking out through that. But it's like you can hear it faintly, but it's not like, it's nowhere near as loud as I was expecting it to be. Like, I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. It is making the noise. honestly hoping for way better sounds, but I don't know if it's just my turbo setup. I know that like having a nice long straight intake also makes a better difference, and I know my intake has a curve to the turbo, so that could possibly be the reason why I don't get good turbo flutter. Just went for the ride. Everything seems to be good, but obviously, like I said, I don't know how well the camera actually picked it up. There's very little turbo flutter, and it does happen, but it just happens very faintly. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the way the intake is, how this pretty much wraps around there and then 90s and then 90s again. So I think the smoother you can make that transition, the louder the actual turbo flutter will be. But as for me, that is not the case. It is there. Maybe I'll try to go again when the car's not very warmed up, so the exhaust isn't as loud, and I'll see if I can get any better sound of it. But yeah, it just sucks that it's not nearly as loud as I wanted it to be. I almost might go back to the blow-off valve just because I know it's working good, and I'm actually getting, from what everybody says, it's better to have a blow-off valve than it is to have this turbo flutter. So, and since it's not that drastic, I don't see the sense of trying to ruin my turbo, if that is the case, for just a little bit of flutter when it really doesn't do it as much as I wanted it to. So, but with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you guys are new, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.